Hello guys, this is FX Mesh smashing it. What is going on, guys? You're welcome back to my channel, uh, where I do weekly breakdowns of the pairs I took in the week and trying to show you my thought process regarding how I was able to set up. And maybe many times I don't really show my setup, but because I don't want to make the video too long, but I can show setups and also how I took the trade. And also I took Euro JPY this week and also gold. They were quite wonderful. They played out very fine and they are still playing out, and they were both sales. And also I just want to say that thank you very much for those that are stopping by. If you're on this channel for the first time, and also my regular subscribers, thank you very much for following me. I appreciate what you're doing, watching me and supporting me. Now I just want to say that Forex is all about making the most from the market, the foreign exchange market, to be able to make profit. Now many times people must understand that Forex is not easy. It's quite a very dangerous game, or business rather, and you must handle it as a business, and you must understand what you are doing regarding approaching the market. The market does what it wants to do, so you are the person that wants to have to figure out the best edge in the market. You are trying to find the best probability that will turn in your favor, that will play out in your favor. So while we are trying to do that, we need to have some ammunitions and ready to face the market. And that's what brings us to what we call strategy. There are different kind of strategies, and these strategies work based on different market conditions and also the person who is actually applying the strategy. For example, for me, I've tested so many strategies and they still work, but I prefer simple break and retest. That's my methodology: simple break and retest. I like to keep my trading very simple, because the more I try to complicate it, the more it becomes difficult for me. The market itself is quite difficult. So now trying to use a strategy that's complicated is going to make messing everything up. So what I want to do is to keep it simple, understand the trend, draw my key levels, allow the market to come and break past a strong level and retest that level in the direction of that trend. That is the core of simple break and retest, and that's what my methodology is based on. So that's how it's been, and I've tested this for quite a long time. I actually started becoming profitable as at December 2021, and since then, January 2022 to August, I've been testing this break and retest, and it has been working very fine for me. Now, one secret about break and retest is that it's just like every other strategy, is patience. You see, many persons, when they approach the market, they approach it with they want to rush to enter trade. No, break and retest on a higher time frame, you need to be very, very, very patient, because the candlesticks are building up. The market is building up, So once it takes time, it takes a while for the market to set up to what you are looking for. So that's a bit to be patient and also be disciplined for the market to play out exactly how you want it, or how closely how you want it. Then from there, you can now have an edge, because what you want to do is that you want to sell with a higher price. You want to buy with a cheaper price. You look for the cheapest price possible and sell with the highest price possible. So that's something like that. So that's how it works. Now we'll go into the chart to see my thought process in the pairs I took. Now let's go to the chart now and see how it is. Okay guys, back to the chart. Now I took this position, Euro JPY, I saw it on the 4 hours time frame, to be honest, and this is how it looks like after I've taken a trade and was in profit. Otherwise I've closed my positions, but because I was using it for something like a challenge account, which I was able to pass. Now my methodology is basically break and retest. Okay, let's assume this is strong level. I always ensure that I identify a major level first of all. Let's assume this is the major level. I ensure that the market must break the level clearly, because sometimes there can be some breaking that can be like this. So it's not too clear. You don't know to what direction is the market breaking. Is it up or down? It's very, very unclear. So I'll just ensure that my price action breaks past the level clearly and ensure that it comes to retest that level. Then give me a candlestick in direction of this trend where it's breaking, right? Then I will not take my sell. That is my methodology. Now that's very simple and easy to understand, but the question is, why is it that many persons they do take this particular kind of strategy and they don't usually make profits? Now the reasoning could be because they are not patient, or they are entering too late or too early. Now I will give a simple example of how I caught this trade. And you see, if you look at this trade, most likely the probability is more to the downside coming in the coming week. In the coming week, 10, 11, 12, 13, the market is giving us a sign that it's going to push more to the downside. Now, how did I catch this trade? Okay, now simple break and retest. All right, now what I do is I mentioned before that I always like to identify very strong levels, and I try to find the trend. Now let's go to a 1 day time frame to see everything clearly and identify the trend first of all. This is a little bit different scenario, so you have to be very careful and zoom closer to show you exactly what I mean. Now what I've explained up here might not necessarily look like what you can see here, except I come closer to this area where I took the position. Now let's go. You can see the market driving upwards, right? After all the push to the upside. Let's start from here, this area. We push to the upside, came here, come up here, right? Then pull back like a correction, push to the upside, then came back again, then pushed up a little bit. Then this was the first breakout, right? We are trying to identify the trend first, then it pushed to the upside. Now between here and here is a buying, is a bullish trend. It's buying, right? Now watch, it pulled back, okay, came back again to the same level and pulled back. That means that this when the price gets to around this 143 region, 143.142, this point, this area, there is something that indicates that that this region is a strong region. Each time each time price gets to this level, so it pulls back. Let's continue. Try to make an attempt to push up, but failed, and came back to this strong level and made some little attempt twice. Then they push to the upside again for the fourth time. 1, 2, 3. Then they pull back. Now let's pay attention to this area, because that's where I took the trade. I want to identify a break and retest there. If you look at the whole of this, Euro JPY is consolidating on a 1 day time frame. 1 day time frame, I don't really take entries on 1 day time frame. I will use 1 day time frame to identify the trend, and which we have identified as what? As a bullish trend. Then before we now start to experience the consolidation. Now the next step is for me to zoom closer. When the market pushed to the upside, I stepped down to a lower time frame, push to the upside. Let me go closer to this area. How I took this trade. This trade was quite a simple one, because I liked the way the candlesticks were setting up. It pushed to the upside. Remember, this is a strong zone from the past because of multiple rejection of the area. So the rejection here, 1, 2, 3, right? Then 4, then 5, then it came up again. When the market came up, after I've had in mind multiple rejection in this region, I wanted the market to come up here, come up here, reject this, the strong level, yes, pull back. When it pulled back, I now drew this line, this trend line here. This trend line is like my helmet. I wanted to know, is this trend going to break past this level? If it's break past this level, then I would have been looking for opportunities for buy. I'll wait for the market to come back, retest, then push to the upside. Well, what did it do? It gave me a little bit of some rejection here again, just like the previous rejection. So what I did was to draw this red line, allow the market to break past the red line, and you can see that it broke past it. It gave me this candlestick here. This is already the rejection that gave me a sign that I'll be looking forward to sales. It came down with this lovely bearish candlestick. I waited patiently for another 4 hours. I could see that there was another bearish candlestick following this one after breaking past this trend line, meaning that this is my first confirmation. Second confirmation is it broke past this red line. What was I waiting for? Waiting for another retest. And you can see these two candlesticks retested. This then you can see an indecision candle. Means buyers and sellers are thinking, should I go up or should I go down? Then once I saw this candlestick pulling to the downside, then I took an entry on here, and I'm tanking down already in profit. So my methodology was break, is the level, break, and retest. And this, I expect this to push to the downside in the coming days. I was already in sales, and it tanked very nicely, very nicely. So this is just the little entry I've made so far in that particular day. And you can see it played out very fine in my favor, and also on my MT for my phone. This for the 15 minutes time frame, I tried to zoom closer, and you can see beautiful entry here. This on the 15 minutes time frame is what we have over here. So you'll see how I'm able to enter this trade and successfully gain back some profit. Now, one thing you understand here is that I went to a higher time frame. Guys, it's safer to analyze from a high time frame. It gives you an opportunity to see where exactly the market is going on the long run. It helps bring some kind of bias as to what direction is the market headed, and that's how I trade. I build my methodology on the 4 hours time frame and 1 day time frame, and that's what I've done here. And just imagine, I'm looking forward to even more sales as the week starts. Now let's go to gold. Gold was pretty beautiful and simple, very beautiful and simple. Clean break and retest. What I did was very simple. Now, you know, gold, we have gold as this. we have gold as this. Okay, I always first of all consider this suffix, right? I always go to fundamentals. Okay, this instrument, gold, this is what makes the instrument. This is a pair, gold to US dollars. So what it means is that if the US dollar gains strength, then the market will be pushing to the downside. If the US dollar loses strength, the market will push to the upside. Now what I do is that I go to the dollar index DXY to see what is the so I can have a picture of exactly what the strength of the US dollar is compared to other major currencies of the world. And what I saw was that the market was pushing to the upside, and when gold hit this key level, you can see it's pushing. It started giving me signs that it's pushing to the upside because it went up, retested this level. You can see that how it's going up, then retest, then a push. You could see candlestick pushing to the upside, and I had that in mind that the US dollar is gaining strength. So then, if US dollar is gaining strength, that means this one is gaining strength, and it's going to push the upside, so to the downside. So what I did was that identify my key levels. Like I always do on the high time frame, 4 hours, one day time frame. I drew my key levels to identify my structure. My key level is at my sub level, but this is also like a kind of key level somehow. So I drew this one. I saw that the market was, this was very simple. I saw the market was pushing to the downside, break and retest, break and retest, break and retest, down to the downside. It went up to this key level. Now this level has been tested a couple of times, many times. 1 around here a little bit, 2, 3, 4, 5, pushed to the downside, came up again, 6, 7. Then I started looking for opportunities. The reason why I did not enter from here was because I always prefer to draw trend lines on a trend in a sub trend line. I always like to draw a trend line. These trend lines are always like a helmet to protect me to see, is this market really reversing or pushing to the upside. So what I did was to wait, and it gave me what, a double top, 1, 2. Then this is the neckline. Once it comes down here, I'm looking for opportunities. Then I step down and see what's happening. Then I was able to look for where I can enter. So here was a little bit tricky for me actually, because I was looking for another candlestick, another single candlestick. But this one, just from here, I entered it here, and I waited a little bit. I was not too comfortable with this trade because I wanted to see another a candlestick, because I was not expecting this candlestick to be too long like this. So anyhow, it played in my favor and tanked into profit. Now those are the two pairs I took other pairs, but I'll just explain. That's how I've explained these two for you guys. Now if you look at index, let's just look at index quickly. Now the index, let's say US index, let's say we have US 30, for example. US 30, let's take US 30. US 30, you can see it's tanking to the downside because US dollar is gaining strength. So each time the market gets to its key level, I'm waiting for opportunities. Simple break and retest. Look at this key level. Came down, broke it, retested it here. If I were me, I went out here. See? Break, retest. Is it giving me confirmation that it's reversing? Yes. I can see a candlestick to the downside in the direction of the trend. Enter once the second candlestick is forming. Simple. Break past this level again, retest, played around a little bit. When it was here, it didn't give me a sign that's going to come down. It came down here, but it pushed up again. You see this candlestick here? Then this one, if I see this after giving me a candlestick to the downside, I must wait for the next candlestick. This next candlestick is kind of going up. I'll wait. Then this one from here, I can enter from here. I just enter, and that's how I trade. Then my take profit will be to the level of the next structure. My stop loss will be just above my entry, above the strong level, that where there was a reversal. So these 2 points are my key points I look at. Break, retest, push to the downside. This is FX Mesh, smashing it. If you like what I'm about, please like, subscribe, and share. Always remember to keep your trading simple. Peace out.